a great sense of freedom, you know, as the world goes by, and, you know, the elements of, you know, are all around you, you know, the air and the wind and the sun and the rumble of it. Perhaps a little bit of rebellion there somewhere in the whole thing. Just an amazing escape from the reality of day to day, yeah. Amazing.
I like to think about it as two-wheel meditation. So you sort of go out on the bike and everything's left behind at home. You don't have to worry about that stuff. The purity of purpose in that helps me relax and not get too stressed about the little details. In 2008, I had a seizure in the lunchroom at work, and they did a CT scan and found about a golf ball sized lump in my brain. And then surgery was 2 days later. So then I was re-diagnosed in 2014. So I had another lump taken out in the same spot, and then chemotherapy from then till now.
I've got a lump the size of a large marble, sort of somewhere between the left and the right side of the brain at the back here. And I've got some tumorous activity going on at the stem of the brain, and of course the original cancer bed is now migrating across to my right eye here. So sort of a spaghetti bolognese going on really in there, I think is one way of putting it. I'm still a pretty happy guy. I don't let it get me down too much. The art of delusion is a good thing.
Look at us. Well, I'll tell you what, this country is so unbelievably beautiful. The scenery is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. What a day. What a day.
From the Sydney Hog chapter in Alexandria, Harley-Heaven, and my pillion this week has been Annabelle. If we can do something that involves riding Harley-Davidsons and helping the community and organisations such as Cure Brain Cancer, you know, we're there. That's what it's all about.
Okay, my name's Brett. I'm from Northern Beaches, Sydney. My pillion is Paul. I didn't know anything about brain cancer until speaking to these guys. I've learned so much and how it affects, you know, it's the biggest killer of young kids in Australia.
Everybody I met are just thoroughly decent, kind, genuine people from all walks and talks of life that all share one common interest, and the joy of riding a Harley-Davidson is frankly phenomenal.
The only other place I've ever felt such a sense of camaraderie was probably in the Defence Force. You know, there's a really tight-knit bunch and they all look after you on the road. It was a bit of a paradigm shift for me in terms of motorbikes, and I'm getting addicted to the power of the Harley a little bit better.
I was riding through the Riverina. The sun was going down and the light was extraordinary. I was listening to some of my favourite music, and I was reflecting on my family and, you know, my children and my wife, Nikki. The scenery was just immaculate. The moment was golden. The next thing I knew was I just had tears pouring out of my right eye. It was possibly the most refreshing moment that I've had in quite some time.
We talk about living our legend, or you living your legend. And much of that is about being on the back of a bike and telling your stories. I had the privilege to spend a few days, as the boys said, you know, with Josh and Paul, and their stories are amazing. They live life like there's no tomorrow.
That $100,000 donation from you guys is going to go a long way. It won't necessarily do much for me, but the people coming after us potentially, it might do a lot for.
For all those families out there that are affected by brain tumours, thank you very much to Harley-Heaven I've survived for 11 years and I continue to survive and don't believe for a moment that I'm about to die tomorrow.
Thank you so much to Paul and Josh. We're going to welcome back to the front and center.
Most people die from this disease in a very, very short window, 6 months. Invariably, it's a very devastating and painful death, and the impact on them and their families, particularly in the case of children, is, frankly devastating. And therefore, I felt, because I'm still able-bodied, and I have a big family, I've got 5 children, and this is my eldest, beautiful Annabelle here, I felt duty-bound to get up and go on this tour. And I didn't really initially think about what it meant for me, but having now done it, it was 4 days in heaven, driving on a Harley-Davidson, going through the Australian countryside, ocean landscapes, farming landscapes, national parks, riding in a convoy. Well, how spoiled am I? How spoiled am I? It was unbelievable.
I think regardless of how much time you have left and the way cancer diagnosis usually happens, you do tend to focus on trying to make the most out of every day. And for me, that's riding the bike. The phrase "live your legend" doesn't so much apply to a singular person. For me, it's kind of like live the way you want to.
A lot of people through their life have got things that they'd really like to do, and owning and riding a Harley-Davidson, a legend of a motorcycle, is what living the legend is. Being able to ride, and especially combining it with something like this, with Paul and Josh riding, who are living legends, it just makes it so much better. In our minds, living the legend is riding a Harley-Davidson. It's just great.